What's going on, world? My name is Brian Tootle. I'm currently serving an unlawful sentence of life plus 24 and a half to 52 years. I know that's hard to hear, right? But in a second, I'm going to tell you something that's even harder than that, right? However, I need you to understand that just like a person have a right to freedom of speech, just like a person have a right to bear arms and to freedom of press, etc., whenever you're accused of committing a crime, you also have a right to a fair trial. You also have a right to due process, meaning the process that's done has to be fair. You also have a right to effective assistance of counsel, meaning the lawyer who represents you has to do that which is in your best interest, right? So despite me having these rights, despite me being diligent fighting for my life for 13 years, despite the prosecutor, Mr. Richard Sachs, knowingly and deliberately facilitating in-court misidentification testimony. He facilitated false testimony that he knew to be false by way of the key witness, the only witness who allegedly put me at the scene of the crime. Meaning, this witness, before the trial, was showing a photo array, and she picked out the person who she said was the shooter. I wasn't even in the photo array. However, she came to trial and testified that I was the one who she pointed out in the photo array, right? Not only this, despite the trial court asking me, when confronting Mr. Sachs about this in-court misidentification, Mr. Sachs lied in the face of the trial court and said he didn't know that she was going to identify me, right? He said that he ain't know, but this is contradictory, or this is belied by his own opening statements when he said that he was going to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt by an eyewitness who was going to recognize me, who was going to testify and that she recognized and knew me and even knew my nickname. Despite the fact that the trial court asked my lawyer, in light of this misidentification, is there any relief that you're seeking? Is there anything you want me to do? My lawyer said, no, Your Honor. And he just proved that my rights was violated. And the remedy is that when your constitutional rights violated, you get a new trial or whatever the case may be, right? So despite me presenting this argument to the Superior Court of Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, the United States District Court, and the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, despite me doing all of this, the courts continue to deny me relief. They continue to deny me relief to the extent now leaving me with one last appeal to the United States Supreme Court and hoping that they right this wrong, that they correct this injustice. Like what is this? What is this? This is my reason for bringing the courts to the streets, because this is a systematic problem that has plagued society and the whole world for centuries. Who catch the bad end of the stick when these judges want to abuse the law and abuse their discretion, right, and violate our rights? Who catch the bad end of the stick? I do. You do. Your brother, her cousin, her uncle, her father, her son, her aunt, her mother. It's females involved in this issue too, right? They ain't got SAI musty for no reason. So this is my reason. This is my reason for bringing the courts to the streets in hopes to open the people's eyes to a system that claim to be justice, to claim to represent justice, right? But in reality, it's a system that's based upon injustice, oppression, and abuse of discretion, meaning that they abuse their power. There's no law that says you can break the law when imposing the law. The judge's job is to abide by the law, but yet they do other than that. So, with that being said, I just ask that everybody be understandable and, respectful and sympathetic of the family of the deceased in this matter, because there's no doubt that this is a traumatic event for them, due to them having to relive this by way of this video, which I'm posting begrudgingly. I didn't want to post this video. You understand what I'm saying? But it's like, this matters.